Hey everyone, and welcome. My name's Aaron, and today I am hanging out with my good friend Loren from Halo Systems, and we're talking acoustics today. Room acoustics, science of sound, mechanical energy, what sound is doing when it travels out from your voice or from an instrument, and what happens when it bounces off of things and comes back to you. So Loren's here to help us today, as well as this shotgun mic on the camera here. We have two room mics, left and right, on either side. I guess your right, my left. I don't know. To sort of capture the sound of this room, which right now this room sounds kind of like nothing because it's a very dead sort of room.
Sounds like you could plug your ears and hear better.
Yes,
almost
a typical recording studio dead sort of sound.
Or practice
space.
room.
Or practice room. At a school.
So this is actually a good place to start because this is kind of where I started. I was a music major studying vocal performance. So this is the kind of room that I was in trying to learn how to sing. And sound takes on the characteristics of its environment.
Yeah.
It's if there's fabric, it's going to sound like fabric. And if it's drywall, it's going to sound like drywall. It could be the exact same shape.
Yep.
And it'll sound different. It's not just about reflections. Even if you said the same surface would be a very smooth surface like a mirror.
Yeah.
Or a painted cement.
Yeah.
It could actually be this very similar in terms of its glossiness.
Yeah.
But it will sound very different because
Sure.
the glass itself is responding differently than the cement.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So this is the signature sound of this space.
Yeah.
So I can just go right over in this corner here, and you can hopefully hear the difference, right? And if I take this off, this is actually, if I were to amplify, hello,
screaming as loud as I can into the corner.
Yeah.
If I were to able to amplify this room, those frequencies would start to overwhelm you, and you'd start to go insane.
It's everything low. It's only low frequencies.
No high frequencies.
Yeah, that energy, as you're saying, is being absorbed.
You're right.
By this material, and that's what this material is made to do.
And so that's doing its purpose there.
Right.
But the thing is, if we left it just like this and tried to record,
you kind of
get very uncomfortable.
Oh, I am no devil, no, I am no saint. Can't be somebody, we both know I ain't, but I try so hard. I knew I wouldn't catch on. Now I'm racing down the highway, going 90 to 60, screaming out the window, wishing you could have fixed me. I'm still a drum, darling, you're still gone. I love my baby, it's like holding up your fists when all the fight's gone.
What do you think?
Cool. I'm getting nothing off this wall.
Overhead.
It's all take and no give. Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear the
let's
difference.
convert to space.
Okay,
And then
try it
play.
again. Do the same
See
thing.
what you think.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, I am no devil, you know I am no saint. I can't be somebody, we both know I ain't, but I try so hard. You knew I wouldn't catch on. Now I'm racing down the highway, going 90
but tell me what's actually, like, from a science of sound
Sure.
standpoint, what's actually happening?
Well, sound takes on the characteristic of its environment because it will go out, get the signature of that element, whatever it is. If it's cloth, it sounds like cloth.
Right.
This is why you design a guitar not out of cement, for example.
Yes,
'Cause it would
right.
respond appropriately.
Different woods sound
Woods
much
sound
different.
differently.
Where
If it was
like
glass.
maple's brighter than mahogany and whatever.
Right, but the more fun things are, what if it was out of foam?
right,
What if it's out of fabric?
right,
Or leather?
Right.
I mean, it would still do something.
right. A banjo's made out of metal and it has this.
And you hear the,
yeah,
you totally
right.
hear that.
Mhm.
So I have this handy dandy little device that I like to use because what I wanted to do is find a maybe I can go up close to the
Yeah.
So it's a music box. This is the guts of a music box. So I took a music box, tore it apart, got the guts of it, because there's little metal prongs. When I spin the handle here, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that or not.
The
but-
rain outside is like almost as loud
as
the,
this.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is demonstrate the same sort of principle as we have on the guitar with guitar strings and a body. So you're not actually hearing, when you listen to a guitar, you're not hearing the string itself.
Yeah.
So if you strike it, okay, I know that you use this to make the sound, but we're actually hearing the body's response to
Yeah.
the energy that's traveling along this string down through the bridge, and then that floods the body.
Right.
The same is true. So if we stretch this string between 2 points that were not connected to this body and weren't connected to anything, you would barely hear it. It would just be kind of like this.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So let's take this same example, and now I will apply it and I will bridge it into something like a guitar. So
Okay.
these panels have been treated and voiced like musical instruments so that you can there's a voicing process and treatment and curing process, just like happens on tone wood there. This is tone wood here, but in the context of a larger room.
Right.
So this will show you what harmonic resonance is. I'll pull it off, put it back on.
That's like a magic trick right there. You're
This teeny little thing can do. It shows. It's so powerful what happens because the character of the sound changes, even if it's exactly the same shape.
Yeah.
You could have a glass bowl and a metal bowl, and it will sound different because the bowl is resonating.
right.
That's what's happening here.
So this is a finely tuned resonator.
Exactly.
That
to resonate a full
yeah.
spectrum, the full
Got
frequency
it.
spectrum. We are, as a human body, we are walking harmonic machines. We're 65 to 70% water.
Yep.
Water is harmonic in nature. And we resonate all the way down to the cellular level. Our DNA strands resonate. And so when you go into a space and you say, I don't feel good here,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
It's not what you're hearing as much as what you're receiving. Your whole
Yeah.
body is receiving sound energy,
Right.
energy all the time. And
Because
that's,
sounds move. I'm talking right now. It's moving through the air.
it's hitting all of
And
me.
yeah, it's not just your ears.
No.
Not your ears as if there were a disembodied.
Right.
Well, explain that then. Tell me
It's
about
not
that.
just coming from your voice. Even though this
Yeah.
is where the articulation happens, that's
Yeah.
the high frequencies.
Uh-huh.
It's actually your whole body from
Right.
your diaphragm up. You know,
Yeah.
can you feel your body resonating in other parts of your body?
Right. Absolutely.
Well, the reason that singers, this is, my field, right?
Yeah.
You get grounded in your feet.
yeah.
And what that's doing is setting a platform for energy to resonate so your body can actually speak like a whole guitar body. So lower frequencies start at the diaphragm and work their way up through your chest cavity, your rib cage, and your organs in here are all resonating. They're creating harmonics.
Yeah.
And as you get up into your vocal cords in your throat, if I were to take the vocal folds out and hold them in here and make it sound, it would sound like an alien. It's just basically a little sine wave. It's nothing what you're actually hearing.
Yeah.
You're hearing the shape of my throat and my mouth structure, yes, and that's partly what is projecting and how we articulate. But the bone structure in my face, all these bones are resonating all the way up into my mask, my skull, up in here. These are the very high frequencies because your bone structure right here has very little distance between there and your skin and the outside air. So the reason that every person sounds different is because I'm hearing all of you. Yeah. I'm not just hearing your throat. I'm not just hearing what's coming from here. I'm hearing what's coming from here. I'm hearing what's coming up out of here, all the way up through here. That is you resonating.
That's a cool sort of thought to kind of linger on, where your voice isn't just kind of your speech and you're talking. Your voice is kind of all of you.
That's right.
So you're, and especially as a singer and as a musician, you're everything there is projecting and giving out and whatever. It's very interesting. It's all there. It's a rabbit trail. Obviously, if you wanna chase that down, there's as much there as you want. Loren, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, a round of applause for Loren, everyone.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
So the Sound Lab here is parked actually in a church parking lot that Loren did the treatment for the room inside. So we're gonna go check that out. So let's do it.
So as I'm speaking, just listen to the warmth and overall response to the room. Before we did what we did, this was brick walls and hardwood floor, all brick walls. And it was a cacophony in here. It was so loud that between you and I, if we had 4 or 5 people here in a circle this big, we couldn't hardly hear each other. It was just so live. So what we took the principles of energy transfer dynamics, and you'll see on the sides we did these large convex shaped walls that are basically one designed to go around a brick pillar in the middle here, but also we wanted it tied mechanically, and in this shape it actually has a outward dispersion resonance. So in terms of harmonic resonance, not in terms of being so live, we're not contributing echo to the room, we're contributing harmonics to the room.
And what's different between, what's the difference between echo and harmonics?
Echo has to do with basically when you have sound energy that is overwhelming a space and you're creating excess pressure. That's what an echo is. An echo is a sound wave that's traveling out, it moves around and it comes back into the space. It's not, I very rarely describe sound waves as bouncing around, because to me that's not accurately describing sound pressure moving, flowing around a space. But it doesn't mean that you can't have echoes. What resonance is much, much lower energy charge, and it's essentially creates a higher resolution sonic image. So the imaging itself, or the data involved that's contained in that particular sound wave, is richer, and that's the difference. You'll see that the stage is designed it's really designed to speak as one. So everything is tied in the background behind each of these panels into one, essentially one mechanical mass, so that it will respond just like a guitar body has bracing inside it and so on. This has bracing on the other side. It's within the lid, creating the conical shape and all that stuff. So when I go up on stage, you'll notice you can stay back somewhere here, but you'll listen as I'm walking up here. You'll hear this sound intensity increase. But either way, you'll notice that I can come up here and spin in a circle, and the sound doesn't change much at all, because what you're hearing is not just me. You're hearing the room's response to the shell, the stage's response to this. So we might, in the past, have called that just, well, it's reflecting. It's reflecting all the sound back in here. But in fact, it's taking this, creating mechanical energy in this shell itself, and then resonating back out into the space as one. What we use is barricade, so an energy barricade approach. So you'll see there's all flat surfaces. So the energy going out, it's all going to meet those flat surfaces. You'd think that would incur all these reflections or slap back and so on. But what you're getting is the spherical sound wave that wraps around that, then starts to travel out along that surface, and the laminar flow that's created, which is a charged energy zone right along the surface, is where there's the bombardment of air molecules right against that surface, tends to build up pressure right along there. So as that's traveling out, it's being selectively, essentially hitting speed bumps. So that's what those controllers are, is taking enough of that energy out so that it doesn't overwhelm the space. Because if we didn't have any of that in here, it would be too live. You'd have to do something about it.
So if somebody wanted the space to be more dead, you could put more of those.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And the same you'll see on the ceiling. We didn't surface the whole thing with wood, or it was a normal drywall ceiling, but we did put a network of these cloud controllers, and as we go back, they're tipped in the back so that it controls some of the slat back. There still is a slat back issue that you got, because you got one priority side of this, everything's coming from one side and it's going in one direction. But if you wanted, and if the client wants to control more, then we would do more. What this church wanted was the ability to do unmiked string quartets, classical performances, and they wanted to bring in full rock band amplified sound setup. And so this is a happy medium between those two. You'll notice there's really padded chairs in here. So when the chairs are all in here, it's not as live as it is right now.
And human bodies.
And then you fill it with human bodies. So we had to take all that into consideration. And it's carpeted as opposed to, so there are elements that we use direct dampening. Just those chairs are absolutely a part of the equation. It's a huge part of an auditorium. Because then you bring in 1,000 people or 500 people, and it makes a big difference.